They're claiming that they're a prophet and that the creator has spoken to them. I want to be very clear tonight that I'm letting you know that I am not a prophet. I, I, I say the things that I say because I study. I study the Torah. I study the language. I study um, everything that he puts before me. I study the roots of the language. Um, I study the writings. I study grammar. I study agriculture. I study history. I have to know what's going on. And I'm also look at some of the things that are going on today. But I want you guys to be aware of individuals who are claiming to be prophets, because their whole idea, believe it or not, is to get away from the creator. They want you to get away from the creator. And what do I mean by that? Well, in the book of Jeremiah, I have no clue that I was going to go here. I just feel like I should take you there so you can kind of get an understanding of what, the creator is trying to get us to understand about himself. Okay. And we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter number 23. I know our Torah portion is dealing with chapter number 1 of the book of Bamidbar. We'll get to that in just a moment. Well, let's first take a look and a peek at what the creator has said. Okay. So let's go right here. Can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, good. Wonderful. And I want you all to know that I enjoy being a teacher to you. And I call myself, my name Akika is a name that I gave to myself because I want you to know that I'm your brother. That's all I want you to know. I want you to understand. Ak means brother. Aki means my brother. And then Ka is your. So I'm your brother. I don't take on any other title. Okay. There's different titles I could take, like being a more, or if I wanted to say that I was a rabbi. A rabbi is someone who's increased with knowledge and they're supposed to know a lot and they're supposed to be able to give that information out. There's individuals call themselves pastors, but I just want to let you know, I'm just your brother. That's all I am. And a brother, Ak is someone who is actively, I didn't mean to go there. A brother is someone who's actively in pursuit of guarding you against something that's out there that can do you harm. And Ak, okay, which just for you guys who do know the Hebrew language, it's an aleph and then a ket. Okay, we know that aleph means strength or strong because it's the ox head. Very simple, right? Then we got over here the wall. Okay, and it's called a ket. And so now we have the what? We have a strong wall. That's what a brother is. Okay, and a sister can be a strong wall too. All you do for her, if you want to make it a strong sister, then all you're going to do is come over here and put the TH on here. Excuse me. A koth. You're going to put a tav on there. Put a little dot right there. That's an akoth. Okay, that's where you can call her an akoti. Okay, but I'm called an aki. And then I'm your brother. That ka right there is your. I'm your brother. I belong to you. Okay. And you belong to me. We belong to each other. And because we're family, okay, we're a mishpachah. I don't care where you're born. I don't care if you're in Texas, Louisiana. We're out here in Cali. It doesn't matter. We're part of the same family. So the strength of the wall is there to protect against something or someone who's trying to come into the house. So the brother would generally come and stand up for you. That's why it says, a brother was born for the day of adversity. Not so the Christian understanding is that your brother will be against you. The Hebraic understanding is that the brother is there for you because there's going to come people against you. If something happened to me, my brother is supposed to stand up and come on my behalf and guard me and protect me. And that's what you and I are supposed to do for each other. When someone comes against you, so somebody got to stand up. Okay. So, and no matter what tribe any of us are from, we're still part of the same family. Okay. But I want you to listen carefully to what the creator has said. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but we're going to start in verse number 16. And write this down for your notes and go back over it later on tonight or tomorrow. and understand what's being spoken. It says this, Yahweh Zavaoth. And the reason why he's using this term Zavaoth right here, I wonder why my internet's trying to trip a little bit. See this term right here, Zavaoth? Zavaoth, okay? It means that he's over the armies, okay? All kind of armies. He's over the armies in the heavens. He's over the armies on the earth. He has insects that he uses as armies. He uses hornets, he uses bees, he uses lice, he uses locusts, he uses whatever he needs to use because he created all armies. And we're going to talk about that in Bamidbar. Yahweh is Zavaoth. That oath on the end right here, as you know, OTH, is an ending. It's called a feminine. What is this thing? It's going in and out. It's a feminine plural. Okay. So it's talking about many. So this is why it's oath, because he's always talking about he's over all of the armies. Okay. He's over all armies. And oath basically means in the feminine ending plurality. Okay. So that's what that means. All right. So Yahweh says, don't listen to the words of the prophets who are prophesying to you. This is what he's instructing us to understand. Do not listen to them who are claiming to be prophets among you. He said, they're making you act foolishly, telling you visions from their own minds and not from the mouth of Yahweh. Okay. They're not from the mouth of Yahweh. How many prophets, different types of prophets do we have that I told you about? Do you guys remember? Just give me the number.
3.
You got 3. Okay. So the third, there's 3 of them. Okay. Let me write this out. For us who don't remember. So the first one is going to come and do signs, and they're going to do wonders. Okay. That's what's going to happen. The second one is going to come and he's going to speak in Yahweh's name. Okay. He's going to declare something in Yahweh's name. Okay. And he will be from our family. He'll be one of your kinsmen. The other one's going to come and speak in your name, his name too. Okay. But one is going to speak in his name truthfully, and the other one's going to speak presumptuously. This other one right here on the bottom is going to be lying. Okay. They're going to say things that Yahweh never said. That's why he's saying that you got to be careful. Where you can find these prophets, the first one you can find in Deuteronomy, which they call Davarim, chapter number 13. That's the first one you're going to find, verses 1 through 6, I think. The second, these 2 right here are going to be found in Deuteronomy, which is Davarim, again, number 18. Okay. It starts in verse number 9 and it goes all the way to the end. Okay. And so when you're reading, you're going to find out that these are the 3 types. Okay. Some are going to tell you that you're going to have peace while there's something going on and there's not. But anyway, Yah has a problem with some of these prophets or these people declaring that he spoke to them. Okay. And that he is currently speaking through them. It says that they're making you act foolishly, telling you visions from their own minds and not from the mouth of Yahweh. Okay. This is important. Okay, we talked about last week about the mouth of Yahweh, and we know that whatever comes out of Yahweh's mouth has to go through a prophet. Okay, so the first one that he chose for us to get talked to is Moshe. This is why he says when that prophet I send, he's going to come and he's going to be like Moshe. Okay, and what kind of way is he going to be like Moshe? He's going to be like Moshe by telling you what Yahweh said. He's always going to direct you back to what the Creator has said. Okay. Because our problem is that Israel doesn't listen to Yahweh's voice. And Yah said, I've sent a lot of prophets, but the mouth of Yahweh, which meaning the words of Yahweh, okay, meaning the speech of Yahweh, okay, okay, would thus say it, and they shall say, thus saith Yahweh, Yahweh has said unto me, okay, like they have a direct connect. Now, here's the thing. Moshe, which we're going to find in chapter number 12, Yah speaks to Moshe different than he's ever spoken to any other prophet. When Yahweh spoke to Moshe, he spoke to him, he says face to face, meaning that Moshe was in the presence of Yahweh. He heard Yahweh speaking to him from the Ark of the Covenant. He heard Yahweh directly talking to him when he was on Mount Sinai. Every time Yahweh wanted to convey a message, he spoke directly to Moshe. The other prophets, he does not talk to them this way. And you can verify these words that I'm saying to you in our book called Bamidbar, which is the book of Numbers, and it's going to be in chapter number 12. Okay. Now, the way that Yah talks to the other prophets is he says, I'm going to talk to them in a dream, and I'm going to speak to, and I'm going to show them what I want them to do in a vision. So anytime you hear Yah saying that he's talking to somebody, or the word of Yahweh came to them, it's going to be in a dream or a vision. Even the very words in which Yahweh is talking to him right now, to Jeremiah, is in a dream or a vision. Okay. Often Jeremiah said, I woke up after Yah spoke to me. And then Yah would give him another vision. The vision means that you just saw something that's going to happen. Okay. So the qualifications of a prophet is one who can say something. Listen to me, that the human eye, nose, mouth, ear, any of our 5 senses have no clue that it possibly can happen. It's something that is called the seed inside. And so what they're going to speak is something that's hidden, like in fruit. Okay. So what it is, the prophet would speak a seed. He would give a seed, he'll plant it, right? And he would tell you what it was before it would happen. Before it flourished, he'd be like, this is going to happen. And then what he said would happen. Okay. That's why it's called the seed inside. That's what a Navi is. And is an N-A-B-I. Okay. The noon is the seed in Hebrew. Okay. Letter noon. Okay. And then forget about this. And then the bet. Okay. So the bet is what? The bet is the tent. Okay. So what it's saying is the Navi is the one who has the seed right here. And the seed generally looks like this. The seed inside. It's hidden. It's hidden. You don't know what it is until it flourishes. That's how you would know if that person is from Yahweh. And if he says something and it comes to pass, okay, without any way of making it happen himself, okay, and it is not something that he has any control over, or he had no prior knowledge and nobody else does, okay? Kind of like what I told you, you shouldn't believe about that was written in AD 70 about the Jerusalem falling, because the New Testament wasn't written until at least 10 to 15 years later. So it would be easy for them to say that every stone is going to be, torn down. Yeshua didn't write that. He didn't write that. Okay. So let's continue to read though, because this is important. He said that verse number 17, they keep reassuring those who despise me, says Yahweh, or Yahweh says, you will be safe and secure, and saying to all living by their stubborn hearts, nothing bad will happen to you. I won't say that I like this, but I understand what this means. Okay. There's people out here reassuring people that, you could do what you want to do right now, and then and nothing's going to happen to you. There's people out here reassuring people that if you break the Shabbat, that you're going to be fine. You're safe and you're secure because you're under this thing, what they would call grace. Grace, saying that grace allows you to despise Yahweh and hate what he says. There's people out here to say that depending on how old you are, if you didn't know and you're part of a generation who didn't know, Yah's going to let you go because he has a certain place where he's going to bring you back, and then he's going to talk to you. And then he's going to try to work it out with you, which totally negates what he said in the book of Deuteronomy to the prophet Moshe. That said, when you're in the land of your enemies, and it comes and you start thinking about what's happened to you, the blessing and the cursing, you would then have to do what? What did we read? What do you have to do while you're in exile? With Yahweh, what do you have to do?
Cry out to him.
You have to cry out, but you're also going to have to turn back to Yahweh wholeheartedly. Yeah. You and your children. Okay. Yah has done some things before that he has let us know. He's given us inside information. I got a question for you. Out of the millions of people that were on the earth, how many people survived when Yah said he's bringing judgment? 8 people. When Yah wanted to destroy Israel, what did he tell Moshe?
That he give him a new people?
I can start over with how many?
With you.
I
Just
serve.
him.
With
I
just
don't,
one.
yeah, I was just one. I don't need any of you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
When Yah comes in, how many other people did Yahweh spare out of all the generation of Israel who was 20 years old and up? How many of those did he spare out of all those hundreds of thousands of men? How many did he spare?
None.
Was it
Oh,
two?
Well, Jacob
two?
and
Who's
Caleb
the two
and
that he spared, Bickham?
Caleb and Yehoshua?
Why did he spare Caleb? What was different about Caleb?
Because
Yeah,
he gave the good report.
He gave a good report, but it said that he was wholehearted with Yahweh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's another example for you. Okay, Yah is only going to spare a remnant.
Yeah.
There's only a small group of people that are going to be delivered, folks. He's not sparing everybody. He said, I'm going to find, like I find a cluster of grapes and I look at it and they say, don't destroy it because I found something good in it. I found a little bit of good in it. I'm not going to destroy that in particular cluster if I find something in it. Okay. So there's people that are reassuring people who despise Yahweh. And they're the Hebraians, which means I call them Hebraians. They're hybrids between Christians and Hebrews. Okay. They think because they have outfits or they're part of camps and they despise Yah that he's not going to do anything. They're going to be safe and secure. And the fact of the matter is they're still living by their own stubborn hearts, which we've been going over for the last couple of weeks. He says nothing bad will happen to you. Yah tells us in the book of Amos, and I'll read it in a moment, that all the sinners of my people will be destroyed. Okay. So, but which of them has been present? Okay. So here's the question for those of us who want to listen to other people and they claim to be a prophet. Okay. But which of them, of these individuals, has been present at the council of Yahweh to see and hear his word? Who's paid attention to his word enough to hear it? What he's saying by this is there's no one outside of who I sent who has been in my council. They don't know what I'm talking about. They don't sit around in the council of Yah. Yah doesn't consult anybody about his decisions. Okay. If they did, he said, who paid attention to his word. Because if we understood the word that he was speaking, and if we were in the council, he would let them know the people would come back and tell everybody how stubborn they are. That's the message. The message is to tell my people that they're a bunch of rebels. My message to you is to tell Israel, as it's been to every single prophet that he has spoken to. You tell my people how wicked they are, and you tell them what their ancestors did. You let them know that if they don't turn from their ways, I'm killing them. I'm not trying to develop a, hey, let's make up relationship again. Somebody got to pay for those crimes. And I'm not a human being. Okay. So we got to be careful of listening to people saying that everything is going to be all right. Everything is not going to be all right. Everything is not going to be all right. And here it is. Look, the storm of Yahweh is bursting out in fury, a whirling storm whirling down on the heads of the wicked. Yahweh's anger will not abate until he fully accomplishes the purpose in his mind. In the Acharit Hamayim, in the last days, you will understand everything. Yah says he's going to bring a storm. It talks about in the book of Psalms how Yahweh's been polishing his sword. He's been sharpening it. He's been polishing his arrows. He's been polishing his armory. He's about to do something in these last days. And if you look at context, he's saying in the Acharit Hamayim, we remember our study on Akar. Akar means that comes after. Okay, it's after these days. After what days? After the Hamayim, after those days, the days. Yahweh's coming, and he's coming in a storm. And it's not in any other type of way but fury. And this is the reason why Yahweh wants you and I to get the right message. because a storm is coming and it's whirling on the heads of the wicked. Okay. Somebody tell me who's the wicked?
Anyone that doesn't listen to his voice.
That's, ooh, I got chills. Boy, you just sat me in a whole bag of ice. I'm sitting in ice cubes right now. Whoever doesn't listen to the voice of Yahweh will have to answer to Yahweh. Isn't that what he said in the book of Deuteronomy? Whoever doesn't listen to the prophet I sent will have to give an answer to me directly. This is the reason why you and I need to be careful of who we're listening to, because if they're not speaking Yahweh's words, they're leading you in a different direction. It has to be Torah-based. The individuals that are talking to us have to be stamped and grounded in the Torah. They can't be on this emotional stuff about them getting any messages and dreams unless it comes true. Because Yah does give dreams. He does. And he does give visions. He does. But you and I have to be smart enough. Listen to me carefully. You and I have to be smart enough, because remember, the three types of prophets. You and I have to understand and be knowledgeable enough to be able to put that person to the test and find out whether or not what they said has come to pass. That's what you and I need to do, because Yahweh's anger will not abate until he accomplishes the purpose in his mind. In the Akarat Hamayim, you will understand everything. He says, I did not send these prophets. The people that are telling you that, don't worry about it.
And even if it does, brother, come true, brother Dawid, if they try to direct you away from him, he say, I put him there just to test you.
See, so you better be on it. That's what
Yes.
he's saying, Bickham. You better test him. You better test. He said, I don't care if they turn water into wine. They can raise the dead right in front of you. And he says, did they try to tell you to worship anybody else?
Yeah.
They mention anybody else's name and what you should do, another doctrine, another teaching besides what I said? Yah is concerned only with us listening to him.
Yeah.
We had that on Shabbat. The lesson was, pay attention to my voice. Pay attention to my voice. They didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to me. They live by their own stubbornness and their own evil hearts.
Yes.
You see? So he says, listen, am I an Elohim only when near? Am I only a Elohim, a powerful one, when I'm next to you? Right? Or not when I'm far away? I don't need to be on you or with you for you to know that I exist. Can anyone hide? Can anyone hide in a place so secret that I won't see him? When I think about this, I think about what Yah shared with me in my spirit and said, you have treaded places where you left footprints that you don't think I know that you've been there. You've walked in rooms and cavities in your mind that you are not even thinking that Yah knows where I've been mentally. There's no secret place for nobody to hide, because Yahweh searches the heart and the mind, and he knows the intents, and he gives and he rewards every man and woman according to their actions, their life, and their conduct. He gives us what we deserve. He said, ask Yahweh. Ask Yahweh. Do I not feel the heaven and the earth? Whether or not you look, the very breath that you and I are breathing right now and proclaiming has a signature on it. When he created the heavens and the earth, it was by his mouth, his breath. The breath that you and I are breathing right now has a code, a signature that he gave that records everything. And we use this breath to do several things with. We got to be more careful about how we use this breath, because it's a recording device. We can send information. I'm speaking to you right now, and it's the vibration. I think you talked about this before, Bickham. The breath is hitting your eardrums, the signals are hearing those little hairs inside your ear and sending a message to your brain, and you're understanding what's being spoken because of the creator of the heavens and the earth. Gave air, ruach, wind, breath. And the breath is representative of our character. How we speak and how we act and how we talk is who we are. If we're argumentative and we like to use foul language on a regular basis, Yah says you're foul. It's just what it is. These are what the things that he said to us. Okay. Nothing on the face of this earth lives without Yahweh. Everything needs it. The birds are actually flying on it in circles. The insects are breathing. Okay. They got blood. Okay. They got an oxygen tank. Okay. They got lungs. They got all kinds of compartments. They have a certain blood type. There's an exchange of gases. You and I are just another creation. We breathe the same air that the lion breathes, that the tiger breathes. The same identical air. This is why I understand why the Malachim were asking, what is man? What is man? I stand corrected. It wasn't Malachim. It was Dawid who asked that question. He said, I was looking up at the sky and the heavens, and I looked and I saw the moon and the stars. And I asked myself the question, what is man that you're so mindful of him? Why do you even think about him? What's the deal with this? Why is he in your care? You see? Yeah. Thank you, guys. Kotsi put up Psalms 139, 7 through 12. Where can I go to hide from Yahweh? Wherever you make your bed, he's there. You understand? So these lies, okay, in verse 25, I've heard what these prophets prophesying lies in my name are saying, I've had a dream. I've had a dream. How long will this go on? And then they have in these brackets here, they inserted this is my word in the hearts of the prophets who are prophesying lies and prophesying deceit of their own minds. With their dreams, they keep telling each other they hope to cause my people to do what? You better hear it. They want my people to forget my name, just as their ancestors forgot my name and they worshiped Baal, other gods. That's the whole entire goal of a false prophet. Okay. Listen what he said. He said, a prophet will come and speak presumptuously in my name. The way that we got to look at this is this way. I'm going to get the people to forget about Yahweh, and I'm going to tell you how the false prophet will do this, how they're trying to get us to forget about his name, because they do speak in his name. Okay. So let me get some ideas. What do you guys think? How are they getting us to forget about Yahweh's name if they're speaking in his name?
Say that again.
Here's the question.
Interesting.
He says that these people, these false prophets are trying to get my people to forget my name. But remember, the false prophets are prophesying lies in his name. They're using his name. So they are using his name, saying Yahweh said. That's what they're saying. So how could they use his name and yet the people forget about Yahweh's name?
They throw in another name like JC to divert
They
attention.
do that. But guess what? Here's the deal. And it came to me when I was reading this. The way that they're getting us to forget about Yahweh's name, they'll use Yahweh's name, okay, in its as a pretext to get us to listen. Okay. They'll tell us what they want to tell us based on their own dreams and what's in their mind. We will follow what was in their mind versus what Yahweh really has said. You understand? We forget Yahweh because what they said, listen, if it doesn't come to pass and it doesn't flourish and they attach Yahweh's name to it, they just blaspheme Yahweh's name. And you and I just bought the lie. We then would stop saying, well, guess Yahweh didn't show up.
Because
I'm not going to look to Yahweh no more. Huh?
Because we trust in them because they prophesied in his name.
Yes. So we put our confidence in them because they had a dream.
Yeah.
Listen to what he says. He says, if a prophet has a dream, let him tell it as a dream. But if someone who has my word should speak my word faithfully.
Mm-hmm.
What do chaff and wheat have in common? He's saying that the chaff is what they're talking. That dream ain't nothing but chaff. What you really want is the reality, which is the wheat. He said, is it my word? My word is like a what? It's like a fire. Ask Yahweh, like a hammer. Hammer and fire, it shatters rocks. Yeah. So I'm against the prophets. Okay, says Yahweh, who steal my words from each other. That's what they do. So here's the deal. The prophets that are stealing my words from each other. Now I want you to listen to this. That's me reading the book of Isaiah and then coming up with my own prophecy. That's me reading Ezekiel and adding to what he said and switching and turning his words so it can fit what I just told you. So you'll follow me. Okay. This happens. Okay. Listen to me. If you get tricked, it's your own fault.
New Testament.
Yes.
Because
If
Brother
you get
David, I
tricked-
was reading in Revelations where it said, and the whole world wondered after the beast. Well, the person that wrote the New Testament, the Catholic Church, you are the beast. You are a beast nation. So that's how you can throw the hound off the scent and get people to follow you, because I warned you against the beast, not knowing that the person that's talking to you is the deceiver.
Yes. You see?
Yeah.
So they're robbing. Praise y'all for that, because that's true. You guys should go read the book of Revelation sometime and look at the madness that they're talking about. Okay. When we look at this, he says they're stealing my words from each other.
Yeah.
You got to watch somebody that's even talking about what some other prophet said. Because what they're doing is it's called taking it out of what? Context.
Context.
We cannot take what Yahweh said out of context and add it to what we want. That's exactly what the New Testament is. It's nothing but pulling out of Yah's words and inserting them right into this in particular passage in order to give validity to it, to validate it.
Yeah.
You understand? So these prophets are stealing words from each other. Okay. And that's what a lot of people are doing today. Okay. Listen what he says in 30.
Aren't we guilty of just basically listening and just trusting like our ministers and things like that, and not really going to what Yah actually said? We're just kind of believing in what, that they're telling us the truth.
And why? Why are we doing that?
Just complacent and won't read, just won't
Y'all say we dumb.
for ourselves. It's
Yeah, but he
easier
did
for
say
us
we
to-
dumb. Hey,
Yeah.
well, guess what, you guys? As dumb as we are or were, let me ask you something. Is that an excuse?
No, it's not.
Daddy said something before he left, or Mama said something before she left, and then you should come back and say, well, such and such told me this. What would Mama say?
Right.
What would Mama do when she walked in the house and then nothing that she asked to get done was done?
Get that bill.
Well, what did Mama, the first thing Mama told me was, guess what? What did I tell you? Yah's telling us, and we've read, I'm not making this up. What did I say? Listen what he says. So I'm against the prophets, says Yahweh, who steal my words from each other. Yes, I'm against the prophets, verse 31. Against the prophets, says Yahweh, who speak their own words and then adds, he says. I'm against those who concoct prophecies out of fake dreams, says Yahweh. They tell them, and by their lies and arrogance, they lead my people astray. I didn't send them. I didn't send them. I didn't commission them. And they don't, listen, and they don't do this people any good at all. You guys, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because we're so gullible and we listen to anybody and everybody because they use Yahweh's name. He's telling them they can know my name. There's people that know Yahweh's name and they cast his words behind their back. We're going to be reading later on this week what happened to somebody that wants to add to what he says. Okay. In the book of, in our Torah portion this week, getting to that. Any questions before we go on? Because we need to understand that the whole purpose of anybody telling us anything outside of what he said is to get you to forget about him and to focus on them. And us doing that, it will be great. It'll be a great disaster for us. It'll be a terrible chaos. Okay. As you notice, I put up this website here. Okay, we got Bereshith, we got Shemot, we got Vayikra, and we got Bamidbar. This is where we're at this week. We left Vayikra. We left that. We're on another path. Yah is taking us to a detour. And Bamidbar means in the wilderness. That's where you and I are going. This week, we are beginning our journey in what they call in the wilderness. This word right here, Bamidbar, not only means wilderness, but it has to do with the mouth. And it comes from this word right here, davar. They got a B right there, but it's davar. Davar means to speak, and you speak with the mouth. And also, too, when you speak with the mouth, you speak words. And when you speak words, you have to arrange the words to bring order. And that's what the wilderness is. That's why he's bringing us to the wilderness, is to bring us in order. So this week that we're going to be in this Torah portion, Yah is using his words to arrange the children of Israel, okay, in order, to put them in certain orders that they are supposed to be in. Because as we've noticed, they are a military, okay? They do have what they call banners and flags with their emblems and with their colors, and they do have that, okay? So far, what have we read in the Torah portion? Somebody give me some ideas about what you've read for the last couple of days.
We're getting an account of who is in what tribe and who's are the sons of who.
Yes, perfect. So let's go there right quick. And we'll just touch a little bit of that. But I'm going to always bring up the definition of Bamidbar because it means order. Okay. So everything going on from the top, from here all the way down, is all about order. Okay. Also, too, a side note about the wilderness, when we talk about the wilderness, we got wild in there. It's very wild. Okay. Well, what else is out in the wilderness? Somebody tell me. What's in the wilderness?
Nothing.
What's in there? Huh?
Vegetation.
Can you see my screen? Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yeah, no, you can. A wilderness is somewhere it's called inhospitable. All right. And when I read this, I started freaking out. It's just like, okay, so this is what it is. A wilderness is inhospitable, meaning it's uninviting, it's unwelcoming, it's very lonely. Okay, this is where Yah brought the children of Israel. He brought them somewhere it was empty. There was nothing there. It's unsocial, antisocial, separated from everybody, completely unfriendly, as he has stated to us. There were snakes. There were scorpions. What else was out there?
Bugs.
There's insects, there's bugs, there's all kind of stuff. What are we missing? What are some of the things that they don't have in a wilderness?
Food, water.
Hey, boy, girl, they don't have no water.
Vegetation, none.
There's no vegetation. Okay, there's no veggies. There's no fruits. There's no vitamins. There's no workout equipment, nothing. How hot and how cold will the wilderness be?
Right.
What was it like? I know the nights are really, really cold, you know, and the daylights is so hot. Okay. There's no breeze. There's nothing. You understand? So why would y'all decide that and by the way, do anybody remember what day it was that he brought them and what month and what year? Just to see if you know your Torah portion.
Did he bring them out?
The 14th.
Well, he brought them out, but
Right.
when he came to tell them this information to how to get arranged, when was it?
The second year.
Yes, it was in the second year, and it was on the first day of the second month in the second year. So he waited that whole long period before he decided to put them in what they would call the arrangement, to arrange them. What's the reason why they didn't go into the land, the promised land? Why? Why didn't they go within that first couple of months? Why? Why didn't he go?
Being tested.
Yeah, they were being tested, and they also tested Elohim. Yes. Well, what else? Why didn't they just immediately leave Egypt and go directly into the land?
Disobedient.
But what did they do? What set everything off track?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the cash.
The golden calf incident. The golden calf incident kind of threw a monkey wrench in the program. It set them back. Okay, when I talk about them or I talk about us, I'm gonna say us. Okay, because I'm thinking I was there. I don't know. Why is he telling me to say sorry for them and me? And he says, you guys. I'm making with everybody who's here today and everybody who's not here.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be there to be there. You get where I'm coming from? Because that's what he said. So our family decided that they wanted to throw a monkey wrench in the program. And how many days did it take for them to mess up everything? They came out and Moshe went up to receive the commands because they were cowards and was scared. How many days was Moshe up there?
30?
Up there 40 days?
40?
He was up there 40 days.
That's right.
So it was a month and 10 days and they was tripping. And how long did it cost them? Because how many days, the years that Yah would give them?
A year.
40 years, 1 year.
A year for every day.
Year for every day.
How, oh, you almost made me say something. How could you go from 40 days to 40 years? How? And we're going to learn about that in Deuteronomy, Numbers in Bamidbar 13 or 14, somewhere around there. We're going to get there, how they came to the 400. I don't want to jump the gun. I'm just trying to create this understanding. Sometimes you can read stuff and be ready to read and talk about how many people it was, what family they came from, and all this good stuff. And that's fine. But you got to know where you are. Yah's setting the stage for us. He's bringing them out here because it didn't have anything in there. It lacked everything. Okay. It lacked everything. There was no stores. There was nothing. And what it was is that they weren't ready to go into the land. They weren't ready to go in the land. Okay. And they couldn't go into the land because of several reasons, but this place of being in the wilderness for them was a place of preparation. Okay. So even after their error and Moshe had to, during that year that they had these problems, it's simply, like you said, Yared, all the testing that they were doing with Yahweh was testing them. It's been an experience for everybody. So the Creator has decided that I'm going to decide to stay with the people of Israel. Now that I'm going to stay with them, and now that my Mishkan is among them, now that they finished this, because the Mishkan is finished, and now now it's ready. Okay. Now we're going to talk about, okay, listen, when was the Mishkan completed? Does anybody know? Was it in the first year or was it in the second year?
I would guess the second.
It was the first year in the first month.
Hmm.
So now we're in the second. No, it's not in the first year. Excuse me. It was in the second year in the first month. Okay. Now we're in the second year in the second month on the first day. So this Midbar, chapter number 1, is in conjunction with when he just finished setting up the Mishkan. Now, after he set up the Mishkan, he's going to tell them how he wants them to operate. Okay. Now he's going to set it up for that. But remember, they've been out in the wilderness this whole time. Yah is preparing them. Okay. And what he's going to do now is he's going to bring order to them. Okay. What does Yah tell us that he's going to do to us when he brings us out to the wilderness?
Test us like he did our ancestors.
I'm going to judge you,
Yeah.
like I did your ancestors. Shaphat. Okay. And that judgment will be exactly the way it was for them. If you and I have given a bad report about what Yah has made a promise about the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you and I will not enter the land. If that's not the number one thing on your head, and you're looking for something else besides what Yah promised Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, and which is the land of Canaan, and you're not looking forward to that, but you're looking for some other destination, or you're looking for some extra blessings, or you're looking for some other information, then obviously you too haven't understood what Yahweh's whole purpose and intention is for the children of Israel, okay? Which is to bring us into our land, okay? But we have to go through this process, okay? So as we speak right now, yes, we will be going back to the wilderness to be judged according to Ezekiel chapter number 20, verse number 36, I believe. But also too, now that we're in the wilderness of the nations. That's where you and I are. We're in the wilderness of the nations. And this is where Yahweh is dealing with us. And this is where we're paying for our crimes, okay? This is where we're literally saying, okay, you guys I've convicted you of a crime. I've put you out, I've exiled you. I'm going to wait for that time to be up. And while the land is being paid as Shabbats, you're going to be paid back, like we read in Leviticus chapter number 26. Okay. So this is what we're doing. But the preparation here is that we lack everything that we don't have. Okay. So just like they didn't have any fruits and vegetables, do you and I have any fruits and vegetables to offer Yahweh?
No,
Did they have any vineyards out there?
no.
No, they didn't. One thing that you and I are even worse off than what they were is that they had Yahweh in their midst. You and I don't have Yahweh in our midst. Yahweh's tabernacle is not among us. As we read in Ezekiel chapter number 39 last Shabbat, that he says, I've turned my face against them. And I will not turn my face back to them until I bring them back to their own land. And then I will have my Mishkan be among them. And then the nations will know that I sent Israel into exile because of their crimes. Okay. So he's going to show them what it is. Okay. Yeah, we have the things that we have that are provided by our enemies and our oppressors. But ultimately, right now, and I'm not just trying to spiritualize this, but you and I are among snakes. And we're among a whole bunch of stuff. And what Yah is doing right now, he's setting us in order to find out. I'm going to make some divisions right now to find out who is going to be part of the remnant. A remnant is that which is left over. Okay. That's what's left over of my people. That's who I care about. I care about the remnant. That's it. Everyone else is doing what they want to do. All right. But just want to set the stage to kind of let us know where we are with the Creator. Okay. Clean this up right quick. So yeah, it's a place that's empty. And they had to rely upon Yahweh 100% and to be fed. Okay. But also too, in this place called the wilderness that we'll find out during the next following weeks, that they had a lot of contention and a lot of problems that you and I are having right now. Okay. So here we are in Bamidbar. Are we here? Let's read a little bit of that. Is it there? No, it's a number. Oh, it's Bamidbar right here. All right. What does it say? I'm going to be reading from right to left. And spoke Yahweh, and he spoke Yahweh to Moshe in the wilderness. Bamidbar, there's your word. Oh, a little side note. Every first, or say division in the Torah, which consists of 5 books, okay? The reason why they named this book, not Numbers, they named it Bamidbar, is because of the first or second sentence. You will have the actual name of the book right here, or the scroll, the beginning of the scroll. Okay. And the reason why we know it's the continual scroll is because this in particular scroll, what they would call a book, begins with the letter Wa right here. And Wa is a conjunction right here, and it means and. So no book ever begins off with and. Okay, so the scroll is a continuous scroll, and it said, and he spoke Yahweh to Moshe. This El right here again is a strong staff. The El, right, the Aleph is strength, and the Lamed is strength, learning and whatnot. So Yah has a strong, he's strongly leading Moshe, okay, with his words, okay. And so Yah uses his words to El Moshe, to put the strong authority upon him in the wilderness. That's what Yahweh did to him, okay. He spoke to him with this strength of this staff in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle. Okay, so that's where it was. It wasn't on Mount Sinai. It was in the Ohel Moed. It was in the tabernacle. It was in what they call the tent of meeting. Okay, Moed means meeting, but also we got the same word called Moed, and all I gotta do is put an em on here, and it's called Moedim. And Moedim are what?
Appointed
time.
Appointments or appointed times. Okay. So when we go to our appointments, it's literally like Yah saying, you're coming to meet me at the Moedim, at the Ohel Moed. See, so you and I might not have the tabernacle in our midst. We might not have our priesthood in the midst. We might not have our king in the midst. We might not have our sacrifice and offerings and our incense. But what you and I do have is an opportunity to attend the appointments and honor Yahweh's Moed, Moedim. You understand? So when we are up on it, and what's the next Moedim that's coming up in the next week or so?
Sukkot.
Yes,
Shavuot.
Shavuot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get I'll probably know by, I think, Thursday. I think I'll know by Thursday. By the way, Thursday is my birthday. So we should know by Thursday. I should know for sure. I thought it was going to be like on the 6th or the 7th, but I'm going to verify before I know. Do you know, Bickham, whether or not it's on the 6th or the 7th?
It is on I thought it was on the 5th.
Yeah, it's some people think it's on the 5th, and then the 6th it's like a Eve or whatever, but I don't want to fall too much into the Ashkenazi way. So
Right.
I want to find out. It's either the 6th, I think it's the 6th or the 5th, one of the two, but we'll verify. But it's only a few days, so it might land on the Shabbat. Okay.
I didn't what I've looked for, but a lot of times I miss it, brother. That way,
Yeah, me too. So I'm with you. So again, it's letting us know that it was on the Be'akad of the La Kodesh. Okay, so if you notice, this doesn't say Quodesh. It's not a Q right there. It's not the Quo right here, which is equivalent to the Q. Is this Ket, and it's Kodesh. Sounds just like Quodesh. So Quodesh is different than Quodesh. That's why you got to pronounce that Quo, because that Quodesh is holy, set apart. Kodesh is the month. Okay, that means month. Okay, Kodesh here is holy, or they say holy, but it's really called set apart. So make sure when you say quo, you want to use that quo. If you're going to say ko, then you say Kodesh, which has to do with month. Okay, and it was in that second year of the second month after they have come out of the land of Mitzrayim, and this is what he was saying. What he wanted them to do was he wanted them to take a head count of all the congregation, okay, of the Aduth. I want to explain to you, if you don't know what this congregation is, so you can know what the congregation consists of. Very simple. The congregation consists of these letters here. Okay, it's called a Ada. Okay, an Ada. Or sometimes you hear it called a Dath. Okay. Adath. And Adath has these two front letters right here, which is an ayin, which the ayin represents what on a human body? Ayin. What does it represent?
Eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes. Thank you. So it's your eye. And then the dalet right here, D-A-L-T, is called a dalet, okay, or dalet. And the dalet represents a door, okay? And so the idea of an eye is to use it to what? To see. And you're supposed to see the door. What door are we supposed to look at? What door? Stay with me. We just left the old hell, what?
The temple.
Moed, which is the tent of meeting. The tent has what? It has two doors. It has a door that flings this way, and they have another door that opens this way. The tent doors. You understand? And in modern times, they would call that the temple. And the temple had doors. And so what Yah is always saying is, I want you to look towards the door. I want you to see the door. And seeing the door makes us a witness. You're a witness to the fact that I am your Elohim, but also too, it's called a testimony of what? A witness. So what's the testimony of witness? What's in that gold box?
Covenant.
Yes, it's the covenant, but what it is by definition called the 10 words.
Yes.
The reason why it's called the testimony of witness is because Israel witnessed Yah speaking to them these words. They heard Yahweh speak those words to them. Therefore, they became witnesses to that Yahweh is Elohim. They're the ones who knows that he's Elohim. Yah has never spoken to any other people on the face of this earth. And this is the reason why in the book of Isaiah, he says that you are my witnesses. Okay. And a witness, again, and I'm going to change the color so you would know. And these things you may know, but sometimes it's easy to forget. It's an odd. Okay. An odd is a witness. Okay. That's what it is. An odd is a witness. And that's why they're using it in this word called congregation. Because the congregation are the individuals that are the witnesses that saw the fire and they heard the 10 words. If you saw it with your eyes and you hear it with your ears, you are a witness. You understand? That's what he's telling us. So a congregation is individuals who are testifying to the witness that Yah has spoken to the children of Israel. Does this make sense? I know it's a lot of information on this thing right here, but I hope you're getting the point. That we have eyes and ears, and Yah has given it to us in order to hold us responsible. Okay? When did you realize that Yahweh was Elohim? Did someone show it to you, or did you have to look at it with your own eyes?
Oh, yeah.
You understand? And the witnesses of the congregation of the sons of Israel, which includes the daughters as well. Okay? So I want you to take a census. So, I want you to do this, and I want you to do it for the sons of Israel, and I want you to do it by their mishpachotham, their families. And I want you to do it according to the houses of their fathers. Okay, so we need the mishpachotham, their families, and the fathers. Okay, but also too, if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't want it only for that, but he also wants it according to their tribes. Okay, and I need you to have for every male, okay, every zakar by his shemoth. You see the word shemoth, right? Is shemoth by mispar an accounting number of every male by his skull. That's what this word right here has to do with. This is called the skull. Okay, by their skulls. It's like a head count. Okay, that's what I need. I need a head count on all the males, and I need them from every tribe. I need it from every family, and I need it from every house. So what we have is we have a house. Okay, then you would have your, which would be your family. Okay. And then I guess sometimes they call it clan. Okay. Or your tribe. So what we're going to find is that every single male from the age of 20 years old and upward, every one of those skulls had to be counted. And that includes all elders and everybody. Right. And he says you're going to have to do this from what? From Ibane, from the ages of Esrim Shana, which is 20 years old and above. And the Yatsa to go to war. Rivkwa, my Isha, she has said to me, well, I thought that when you got a certain age, you're out of service. Well, that's true if you're a Levite, okay? You only can work until you're 50, and then you go into retirement. With this, though, this is talking about war. So everybody who's 20 years old, all the way up until he doesn't give a number, they're all qualified to go to war, okay, to be used in the service. And now you can see also too the difference between, which corresponds to when Yah said when you were supposed to redeem somebody, it was a certain age. I think it was from 5 to 20. From 5 years old to 20 years old, 5 years old to 20 years old is, or I would better yet, yeah, it is 20. Yeah, I said 20. Is they're considered to be a child. So really it should be 19. Yeah, 5 to 19. 5 to 19, you're a child in Yahweh's eyes. I know the Ashkenazis went and turned these 13-year-old boys into men and say you're part of adulthood. That's not true for our culture, okay? Let them do what they do. The age of 1 month old to 5 years old, you are considered a baby, an infant. You're a baby in Yahweh's eyes. In Yahweh's eyes, from 5 to 19 years old, you're a child. From the age of 20 and up, you are considered an adult. Okay, check this out. This is only dealing with the males. And let me explain to you. When a woman gets, when a young woman is at home, okay, or she gets married and she's 19 years old, okay, she gets married. And then she moves out, she gets with her husband. That didn't work out. She comes back home. When she came back home, she's 24 years old, okay? Yah, in his word, says that this 24-year-old woman, okay, she is still considered, listen to me, she's considered still a daughter under her father, under his rulership. If she's 30 years old and she comes back after being married, she's under her father's roof and he's supposed to provide food, clothing, and shelter for her, just as if she was a child, or just like if she's a young woman, or just like when she's a young adult. She's still under the same rules under her father's house. The moment she moves out of her father's house, she's under her husband's authority. You see, this is why Yah says that, you know, when you get married and you come back home, you're under your father's care. So when an adult woman is living in the home of her father, okay, even though she's a young woman, she's still being cared for as if she's a young woman or a child. He's not treating her like she's a grown woman, meaning not like disrespectful or nothing, but if I was to say you can't do something because you're underneath my roof, you can't do it according to the Torah. Now, is that going to fly here in the United States of America? I doubt it very seriously. You know, I even have those challenges in my own home. So I don't speak as if everyone here is, in line with what the Creator said. And that's going to be too bad, because when they get to the land, that will be the case. Okay. So my point here is that Yah looks at age groups to see if they're ready for the calling and for the things that they're supposed to do. These 20-year-olds now, if you guys remember, the individuals who were killed and destroyed and given a plague in the wilderness were 20 years old and up. Everyone else, Yah said that they don't know the difference between good and evil. They don't really come to maturity yet. They really don't understand. So that's something that if we're going to be in this walk with the Creator and we're going to try to turn back to our covenant and our Elohim, you and I have to understand how Yah sees things and from his perspective. So you shouldn't be too hard on a child who's from 1 month old to 5 years old. They're still, in Yahweh's eyes, a baby. If you have a son who's 20 years old, he's ready for military service. He is supposed to be mature. If he's mature enough to go to war, and he's mature enough to go fight for his nation, he's mature enough to be married. Remember how I talked about if a young man got married and he was about to go to war, he would stay home with his wife. He wouldn't have to he would get that year off of military service. So now we actually get some clues too. And when a young man is literally supposed to be ready or prepared or mature enough to handle being married. Okay. That's what it is. Okay. So 20 years old and up, Yah says you're an adult, you're a man. You're 25 years old. You can't go back and say, well, my dad didn't this and that. You can't do any of those things because Yah looks at you as a mature adult male. So the expectations for the young men they're there. So for us who have young men who are under the age of 20, I would encourage you to continue to try to build those, good bonds and relationships with your sons, because at the moment that they're 20, Yah's going to hold them responsible themselves for their behavior and their actions and their conduct. So it behooves us to make those moves. I can't say I wish. I'm regretful that I didn't have that opportunity with my son to really give him the training that I needed to give to him. Not that he's not learning, but it's a lot of things that, he could have learned, or I could have thought differently, and we would have approached things differently. So these individuals are being numbered and called out for a time of service. And once they're what they would call enlisted or brought here and given an account and had a census of them, is not only they're representing their house and their tribe, but they're also representing a nation. So this particular call was something to get them prepared to understand that now we're bringing order, and they had a sense of responsibility, and they knew that, okay, now things have changed. Israel cannot be this running of amok type of people and doing whatever they feel like doing. Okay. When we get back to the land, again, we'll cover this a little bit more on Yom Kamishi. Yah is the one who's going to call us and separate us for himself to put us into the proper place that we need, as we read in the Torah portion. Okay. So that's as far as we're going to go tonight. Any questions before I let you go?
As far as being of age, just because you're of age does not mean that mentally you have the same capabilities as everybody. So maybe like those people that are like learning disabled, is God holding them accountable the same way that they're holding someone that is mentally capable?
No, Yah knows our hearts, right? He knows our minds and he knows our situation. The as I would state again, the idea behind what we're reading tonight is like, it would be kind of unreasonable for us to think that when we're in the land of our oppression, that these things will work out for us like it worked out for them. That's not how it's going to work. What it is Yah is showing us how he sees things, and we're supposed to take something from that. You can't force this, right? Because we're not in the community, number one, and it wouldn't make sense for us to try to, it's like me saying, well, you're 20 years old right now. So, I think, there's laws that are in place that say you got to be 21 or you got to be 25 or you got to be this or you got to be that. So we're fighting against those things. Yah's just showing us a picture, a snapshot of what things are. But to speak to your point, Yah holds every person responsible for their own actions. And, even a child, like, say someone of your children disrespect you. God says you should honor your father and mother. And that's what happens. Yah can see something good in someone. He can say, I saw an element of good in that individual. And he'll judge that person based on what he knows about that individual. There was I'm not gonna hold you long, but and I'll show you on Yom Kamishi, there's this child that his father was evil, and they were concerned about whether or not he was gonna live. And the mother was beseeching, asking, is my child gonna live? She came to the prophet, and the prophet said, yeah, come on in. I knew you were coming. And he told her, he said, yeah, everything that your husband did, everything's going to happen to him, like I said. However, the child, he is going to die. However, Yah's not going to let him be eaten up by the dogs like everyone else in the family, because Yah said he saw an element of good in that child. That's the example we have. Yah sees elements of good. Yah sees, he destroyed Judah's son, Er. He killed him because he said there's something about him. He was evil. Yah didn't like him. He didn't like him, you see. So, and of course, Yah is not a respecter of persons, but everybody will be held responsible for their manner of life and actions and conduct. That's all we can say. Anything out of that, I'm not going to speak on behalf of the Creator, and I don't know. I just know He says, I know the heart, I know the mind, I tested everybody, I know what it is. So that's all we can really hope for. The goal, as I stated, is for us to understand, how does Yah see things? And so, even though we can't perform these things all the way to the dot or whatever, we can look at them and say, well, I can adopt this in my mindset. I could try to convince my daughter that, hey, listen, I'm supposed to provide food, clothing, and shelter for you as long as you're here. The moment you move out, then you go under your husband's care. You're no longer under my care, and I shouldn't have to do these things for you. But when you come back here, this is what it is. But there's something that goes along with that. That's what it is. And if she has a heart and desire to follow the Creator, then she'll do what the Creator says. If she doesn't, that's between her and the Creator. You see? So there you go again. People make their own decisions. But I'm here to encourage us to say, if you have young children or grandchildren, and you could try to put little things on their minds to let them know. If you got a 5-year-old, don't treat them like, how we've been taught about how to treat a 5-year-old. Look at how Yah looks at them, and that would be probably, I think they say that 5 years old is like at the time where their character starts getting really developed to who they're going to be. So if we really nurture them, and babying them doesn't mean like, oh, give me your baby. It means like really taking care of them and really nurturing them. And I believe if we start doing that with the young, they'll end up being different. And then when they get to, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 20, you've still been consistently treating them like a child and saying, okay, I'm here to instruct you and bring you along your way. You don't do like how we were done. Hey, you get out, you're 18 years old. It's time for you to leave, or before. I'm tired of taking care of you. That kind of idea, that concept, or a child's like, I'm 18, I'm ready to leave home. You're not ready. And if you go into Torah, be like, listen, you're not prepared. You're not mature enough. There's a lot that you need to learn. And I would regret for you to leave, because if you left, there's things that you need to know before you leave. Otherwise, you're not going to really survive. It's going to be very difficult for you. You see? So it's not for us to twist anybody's arm. What it is for us to come to understand that if we take these principles that Yah is showing us, then we'll be better off as a people, because this is ultimately about bringing our people together and having a community of people who have the same mindset and the same purpose. So everybody who signed up, who was counted, they knew automatically, okay, I'm part of this. I'm not just running around in the camp any longer. Now the camp is bringing some organization, because Yahweh says, if you ever came close, and we're going to read this on Yom Kamishi, if you ever come near my temple and you didn't supposed to be there, you're going to die. So let me show you where you're supposed to be. Let me put your banners up. You stick with your family, and this is what it is. And we'll talk more about that on Yom Kamishi. But that was a great question. Anyone else?
Well, I did have one about when you spoke about the mouth, and how we have to basically be kind of careful with the things in which it is that we say. Yeah. And it kind of made me think about, those people that are like deaf mutes. Okay. They basically communicate in a whole different way. Say, for instance, they don't have like filters. Okay. Yeah. Because they haven't learned, they can't hear. So they don't know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable.
Yes.
So where does Yah place them?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's an honest answer. All we would know is that he would have to look at their heart. And I don't have that. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I don't search the inner man. I don't even know. I can see on the outside, just as far as I can go. I can see some actions that they take, but truly, I mean, we're not in a position, I think, or I know for sure that I'm not in a position to say whether or not someone is righteous or unrighteous, or whether or not, or if they have some goodness in their heart towards Yah. I don't know those things. So I stay away from that. But what I would say is, if someone is doing something that's wrong and evil and it's bad and they're being violent, that has to be checked, and there should be some checks and balances on those types of things, right? But other than that, I said, well, I got enough of my own problems.
Yeah, I think he sees the heart.
Yeah, he sees the heart. I'm not worried about, listen, I used to worry about everybody. But God's told me you better stop worrying about everybody. You need to understand that you are responsible for you, little David. So you worry about you. What about that? That's none of your business. Both the parent and the child both belong to me. Your kids don't want to, follow what you're saying. That's fine. I'm going to deal with them too. Just like I had to deal with you, but give everyone the space that they need to grow and to mature. And you should hold them responsible and put some consequences in place. If there's no consequence, all you're doing is hurting them in the end. That's all you're doing, you see? And then if you're not able to do that, then hey, let it be whatever it is. At the end of the day, Yahweh's going to take care of everybody. Trust me. Everybody, whether they're a true prophet, false prophet, doesn't matter. Yah has something in store for all of us. He's going to take care of us, all of us. He's going to line us up. Here, you belong over here. Some people want to be in the tribe of Judah, and guess what? They're part of Gad. You're going over there, and ain't nothing you can do about it. You better move with quickness and need to get over to your family, because this is where you are. You don't mean I get to hang out in Jerusalem? No. I don't get to part. No. There's a lot of preachers, pastors, rabbis, teachers, kikas, mores, and a lot of us that believe, well, I'm doing God's work. Okay, we'll see. You might end up over there working the land like everybody else. You may not be in the temple. You may not be close to him. You may not. Your family may have done something. He says, I don't know if you know this, but your family did this, so you don't get to come in front of me. Go read the book of Ezekiel, chapter number 45, and see what he told the Leviim. You guys did this, and you're going to bear the consequences. Therefore, you can't approach me. That was on the table. It's off the table now. Yeah.
It is, and you have to accept it.
And we got to accept it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So we have these big grandeur ideas about ourselves. We might puff ourselves up like we're the man here, we're the woman here, and we got it together. You get there, you go see who we are. Yah's going to check us so hard. Everybody will be scared to move. Because he's going to let us know this is the family you belong to. This is the banner that you be under. Don't you come over here. Don't you move there. Okay. I love you, but don't die before your time. Don't cross the line. Okay. And you live in the tents of Asher. Okay. And you live among who? Reuven and them and Shimon and God. You stay with them. Yissachar, Zevulun, and Yehuda, you guys are on the east. I don't need you on the west. Because I told you when we move out, you're the first to go. Fall in line. Be part of something bigger than yourselves and work together, because we're all part of that. And so Yah's showing us that this week. And I'm looking forward to more of our teaching. Anyone else?
I wish that we could just go on and on and on and talk about it, because it's so interesting.
It is. It is, but we got to save it. We're going to save it for this Yom Kamishi. But I do love and adore every one of you. I do mean that. And we're a family. We're a mishpachah. And so we just got to keep on keeping on and keep on learning to learn how to approach our King and understand who he is. So we'll get a little bit more detail. Just wanted to give you a little opening about where we are in the wilderness and what does it mean. And Yah now is going to start speaking to us. Because he's the theme is order, organization. That's what he wants us to understand. Okay, order. And I'm going to use my words to order your life, to get your life in arranged the right way. That's why I don't need you listening to nobody who's not talking about what I said, because if you listen to them, you're going to be disorganized and you're not going to function correctly. You think your family's messed up now? Anyone else? I'm just keeping it real. That's what it is. Lila Tov, everyone.
Shalom, McKee.
Shalom. I like
Shalom.
love that beard on you, man.
Trying to be like you, trying to get it there. I'm getting there.
Get that bad boy on there. Yeah.
All right, good brother.
All right, you guys. I'll see you on Yom Kamishi.
Y'all say the same. Yes. Toda Rabah.
Toda Rabah.